Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. All right, you guys, it's March. Can y'all believe we're 3 months in? I don't understand what's going on with my life, but 3 months, it's team a lot going on around here, but it's time to budget. All right. I do apologize that I was not here yesterday. I had every intent and purpose to come yesterday, but one of my former coworkers, I haven't worked with her in a very long time, but but her son, her only child, ended up some kind of way passing away. We don't know any of the details, just that he passed away. And by the time I heard about the arrangements, I think I read the thing on Friday. They had a viewing on Saturday, and I was not able to make the viewing. And then the funeral was yesterday at 2 o'clock. So I said, well, let me try to head over at 2 o'clock because it's very close to my house where the church was. And then I said, well, I can get out of here very quickly and get the video filmed by 4. Y'all, it did not happen because I was still at the funeral. And it just was one of those things that I did not want to try to rush through because, that was important. It was important for me to go. I know I had somebody mention, well, she'll be so happy that you came. And I said to them who are not maybe necessarily, hey, now, how are you? Miss Vonzella, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me or not. But what I told them, I said is she's not even going to know I'm here. And that's just how losing, losing anybody that you care for, you're not going to know who is there, and you're not even going to be aware of anything for weeks and weeks and weeks. I went to make sure, hey, now, good to see everybody. I went to make sure that I represented. She was nice to me when we worked together. We were not like friends, but I knew her. She was kind, and I wanted to make sure that I went and showed my support. I was not, whatever anybody else didn't do, that wasn't my business. So anywho, I'm tired, y'all, but we're going to jump in. Okay, we're jumping into the March budget. Now, we had some extra money come in. You guys, I had some things, right, that I had planned to do. One of the things was Mr. Jerome is coming over to till the garden. I have had that garden 4 or 5 years. I've never tilled it. I've worked the dirt around. I've put new, what I'm gonna call it, manure and compost, and I put all those things in, but I've never actually had a tiller machine in there to till the soil. I actually should have tilled it twice this winter, but I'm going to settle with the one time that Mr. Jerome is going to come and do it. So I actually had budgeted out quite a bit, showed him the pictures, and he gave me a price, which was significantly lower than what I had originally planned for. The other thing about that's needs to be noted is my greenhouse. We've lost our greenhouse because what I bought wasn't what I thought I was getting. I thought I was getting something that was a little bit more, the fabric was a little bit more meaty, if that makes thicker, and it wasn't. And so we've had a couple of bad windstorms, and so that greenhouse is gone. Now I'm going to try to jimmy rig, y'all. I'm going to try to jimmy rig something so I don't have to buy anything right now because I don't want to spend the extra expense. But I do have it's a portable, it's a tent, it's plastic, and you sit in it. Hey, now, in the weather, right? Like rain or snow or whatever, if you go into a ball game. It's not huge. It's definitely not the size of the greenhouse. But if I'm starting plants, I can actually get the plants in there. I can zip it up. And I can keep the plants warm. And so I'm just going to jimmy rig that for right now until I get enough money to really buy what I want, or there's a company out there that wants me to preview their greenhouse, and I'm avail. So anywho, a couple things happened that we wanted to share with y'all. Let me take these glasses off because they glare. I did get my taxes done. Very, very good outcome on the taxes. Typically, North Carolina whams me, y'all. They hit me hard. And so every year I'm saving 15% of whatever one mom income that comes in, I put that in a separate account, my Capital One 360 bank. And so whenever my tax lady does my taxes, she says, hey, Shakima, this is how much you owe. And this is how much you owe. And so I go ahead and pay. Very, very long time since I got a refund from federal, but last year I did get a small refund. She did my taxes. She did my taxes, a lot of taxes. Jackson did not have to do taxes. She did tell me, though, in North Carolina, I had to change my W-4 form. It used to be a W-2. Why is it now a W-4? And then they got all these numbers up here. If you make 750,000 and take away 236,045 and put it over here and calculate it and subtract. I'm like, what is all of this? But anyway, she said, because Jackson's going to turn 17, so I don't get the child credit of $2,200 anymore. I will only get the $500 credit. So I needed to change that on my W-4 form. So I did that. And child, listen, the lady was like, we still have you being married. No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. See, I don't change these forms. I don't know what I thought in the divorce, that things would just change themselves. I am excited to begin my garden. I am so excited. I have not done it yet. Y'all know I've been otherwise occupied, but I don't do a total lot in the winter garden. I'm always excited for my spring summer garden, and I'm actually getting ready to start some seeds. I haven't started seeds yet, but I have printed out what I need to start, so I'm excited about that. But I'm going to wait till Mr. Jerome comes and does all the things, so I'll know what I need to put in the garden, what I need to add. I'm going to go by Starbucks and see if they'll give me some coffee grinds. I just want to make all of my beds richer. I'm going to add in new soil, new compost, all the things. I just want to make sure that it is nice and supple for the spring planting moving into the summer garden. I love gardening. It's been one of those things that helps me. But again, of course, that is income, right? It's going to cost me something to garden. I just have to factor it in. So anywho, I got all that change for Jackson. And then when she sent my taxes in, did all the things, she sent me it back. So I actually ended up getting a pretty nice refund from federal. And I only had to pay a very little to the state, like $88. I've never had to just pay $88. But again, all of my social incomes have come way, way down. It was like 3-4 years ago that I think I had like made $12,000 on YouTube. I made like 3,000 this past year. It wasn't a ton. So that, of course, shrinks that amount of income. And then my charitable contributions, right? I think my total income was somewhere like 62,000. And I gave just over 15,000 in charitable contributions. So that does bring my tax bracket down, helps me all the way around. And so I did get money back from federal, which is good because I had some expenses that I wasn't sure how I was going to cover. The first thing was for Mr. Jerome to come and do the garden. I was going to find it from somewhere, right? Yeah, I could find it from somewhere. And so that money that he's charging, I did not have to find. I have a pastor's conference that is coming up. I need to pay for my room. I got points for my ticket, for my flight, but I did not have points for the room. I was able to go through Hilton Honors and book it on a pay when stay, because when I booked it just regularly, it was pay right now. And I didn't have it to pay right now. I was going to find it, but I didn't have it to pay right now. So when I booked it through Hilton Honors, I was able to get the pay at stay. And so I was looking for another $400 to be able to take care of the hotel room. I'm going to be gone for 4 days just because of travel time. The conference is 2 days, but I have to give myself travel time there and travel time back because I've had flight issues before and I don't want to miss anything. It's just a pastor's conference. It's not anything like there won't be live worship in it. It's a teaching conference. So I'll just be attending as one of the global pastors. So that was another thing that I needed. So Mrs. Jerome plus the room. And then I had another personal expense that I didn't need to do it, but I did it. I wanted to do it, right? So I was purchasing something for my boyfriend. He purchases me stuff all the time, stuff to show up. Like, what is this? Where did this come? And he is good with that. He never requires me to buy him anything, take him anywhere, pay for anything. He does all of the things. But there was something that I wanted him to specifically have, and I wanted to make sure that I could cover those costs. And it wasn't terribly expensive, but it was a little bit more than I was still gonna have to find it from somewhere, right? No problem. So what I did was, when I got my tax money back, I was able to cover the room, Mr. Jerome, plus the purchase, plus there's extra money still left over. I do have to renew my one mom is a LLC, and I have to renew that by April 15th. So I have to have some running money in there to be able to renew that LLC April 15th. They keep sending me paper every day. I get 2 or 3. Your thing's renewing. It's coming up. The renewal is coming. It's April 15th. It ain't today. Stop. So anyway, I knew March I would have some extra money coming in, right? So I make sure that I can cover the majority of my bills just with my paycheck. Anything that comes from child support, I will then use. Hey, now, good to see everybody. I will use to be able to do some other things. Jackson had to go today for a drug test and a TB skin test because he got hired on with the county for being a culinary arts intern. So he's actually working for the system that I work for. And he was the first intern to get approved. And so he needed a drug test and a TB skin test to be able to get paid. And so I had to take him for that today, and I had to pay for that up front. So when child support comes back in, I'll go ahead. I did it on my credit card, and that credit card doesn't come up due for a couple weeks. So when I get a child support payment, I'll just go ahead and take that to pay off that expense. I didn't want him to have to pay for it out of his paycheck. It's fine. And they won't get their internship pay until the end of the year, which is still another three months away. So what I did was went ahead and paid for that. But as the money comes in, I'll be able to go ahead and pay what I need to pay. But I thought I would have to use some of that money for at least Mr. Jerome, at least trying to cover some other few things that, I had going on. Then I actually did get a very a blessing from somebody to the ministry. Thank you so much. He does a good job. He is a good baker, chef. He is a good chef. He's really, really good, and he likes it. Then somebody blessed the ministry. I had done the 40 days of love starting in January, went all the way through February 13th, right before Love Day. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just this past week, somebody blessed the ministry. So after I tithe off of that, that actually came in to help be able to pay for, as I'm thinking about it, I went ahead and put a ton of money into my travel, and I just had a transfer go in for the ministry. So I'm actually going to be over by about $200, which is fine though, because I still have to eat and I still have to Uber. I'm going to Uber back and forth. When I go to the hotel, when I get to the airport, the hotel has a shuttle because it's close. So all I have to do is let them know, hey, I have a reservation today. I've landed. They'll come and pick me up, and then they'll take me back to the airport. So I still have to eat, and I am going to have to Uber back and forward to the venue, which is only 10 minutes. I don't want to get a car because, again, I'm just not familiar with the Texas traffic. I've driven in it before. It's just not my comfort level. Just pay somebody else to do it. And by the time I do 4 Ubers, because that's what it's going to be, 4 Ubers, I'm still going to come out cheaper than renting a car, getting the extra insurance and all the things, blah, blah, blah. Because the last time I went to Texas, somebody did hit the rental, but just at the very last minute, the guy was like, this is Houston. You might want to get this insurance because people will hit your car and be gone. So I said, yeah, let me get it. And I only had the car for 1 day, and somebody hit the car, but I had the insurance. But I didn't want to go through all those rigmarole things, so I left it the way it was. The best thing, though, that happened to me today, because I did not pay bills yesterday, it was the first, but it was a Sunday. So I waited to pay bills today. And evidently my escrow was a lot lower because I always get my new statement in March. My mortgage payment went down. I should have made that the title. My mortgage payment went down, y'all. I was looking like, what is this? So most people would say, well, Shakima, are you still paying extra to the principal? Because it went down by like $128. I could take that and chunk it to the principal for sure. But what I decided to do is, because my social media money is not where it needs to be, and I have to fund my car insurance every month, I'm going to take that extra $128 and put it towards the $170 of car insurance. So I'm not just spending that money willy-nilly. Okay, I don't have to pay the mortgage, but I'm taking that extra and putting it towards the car insurance, which means I only have to come up with like 40 some dollars extra to be able to fully fund the car insurance, right? So that was a good thing. Okay, let me jump in to these numbers because that's what y'all came here to see. But those were kind of some things that have come up that I wish I could make stuff slide in and out of this screen, and I could do that while I'm talking. I don't know how to do that yet, but if anybody is familiar with restreaming, y'all do let me know. Like the video, share, and do all the things. Okay, I'm going to jump over to my budget sheet and show you guys what we're dealing with. Okay, let me just make sure I can still see the comments because I want to make sure that I can see. God bless it. Okay, here we go. I thought I had that up. Maybe I did. All right, here we are. And here is my budget sheet, but I do want to make sure. Let me make sure that I can see the comments if any come through. All right, go in here. And we are live. Okay, I just want to make sure that I can see the comments in case anybody says anything. All right, very good. So this is March. I had a payroll deposit of $3,547.36. Now, I only have April, May, and June. Those 3 more paychecks will come in. My May paycheck will be my June expenses. In July and August, so at the end of June and the end of July is when I get my summer share money. That money is going to be over $2,000. It's going to be like $2,035 more than what I have gotten any previous summer because I'm putting in so much money every month now to make up for my 2 supplements that I don't get broken down in 2 payments anymore. They've absorbed it into our paychecks. And so now I've had enough taken out that is going to give me quite a bit of summer money. I will not have to pay tithe because I've already tithed my full salary in 10 months. And so I won't have that, but I'll then be able to fund Christmas and I'll be able to fund my sinking funds, the ones that are harder for me to try to make up when there's no, when the social income has dwindled. Okay. Let's see. One Mom affiliate revenue. Now this I put on here, this was my YouTube and Facebook, I think social media money from February, $253.03. And then my federal taxes came in at $803. That gave me a total income of $4,603.39. Now, this is where I'm loving for me that there's some wiggle room here now to make sure that I'm funding everything. And I did not move the insurance money, but I'll do it in just a minute. So my mortgage last month, I budgeted in $1,122.11. My new mortgage payment is $993.22, something like that. So $933. So I went from $1,122 and I was paying $1,150. I went from $1,150 down to $993. So again, that's going to leave me some wiggle room to go ahead and put into the car insurance. Okay. My utilities were way up this past month because of those huge storms we had back in January or the beginning of February, end of January, 1st of February. We were out a few days. There was a lot happening in the weather. We had like 2 back-to-back storms here in North Carolina. So my utilities was $212.26. My water bill, however, was low, $66.63. Now remember, come summer, that water bill goes up. But what I am going to do is I'm going to move the water barrel. Mr. Jerome got me a water barrel, and I do have the solar water system in some parts of the garden. So I am going to try to utilize that a little bit more so that I'm not necessarily using all the, having the water run for the garden all the time. We're going to restructure some things. My beds can't move because the beds are where they are, but we are going to restructure what we can. I paid my cell phone bill to Shamika was $50. My internet was $55. That's paid. I will take out cash for Mr. Jerome. I had budgeted him at $300. He was going to do a small little flower bed for me, but I'm going to leave that for now because I just didn't want to do the extra money. He said it was $135 just to till the garden. If there's anything else I need him to do, he will do it, but I have to space it out because starting April, he comes back for grass and I will have to pay that $120 a month just for grass. So I have to make sure that I'm able. My Roth IRA came out at $75. Now, we are back to saving for Amazon Prime. My friend gifts that to me each year, and it was $143 and some change. Now, here's how she does, or why. She's older. I do all of her purchasing for her. She'll say, Shakima, can you order me this on Amazon? And whatever she wants, I order it for her. No problem. It doesn't bother me to do it. I'm going to order for me. She's not a bother or anything, but she says because I do that for her, she wants to pay the renewal. Well, a couple days ago, she called me and she said, hey, Shakima, there was a charge on my credit card. I just want to make sure if you knew what it is. It said it came from Amazon. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, wait a minute now. Hold on. I got my own credit card. I got 3 of them. My debit card and 2 credit cards. I don't spend anybody else's money. So I'm searching and searching. And so I'm trying to figure out what was purchased. I said, well, nothing was purchased on that particular day. And I said, well, how much did it cost? She said $148 and some change. I said, that was the renewal. So here's what I'm thinking. And again, this is just me. She's not said this at all. She's continuing to pay for it. But if she gets to the point where she doesn't remember, right? She's older and she may not remember. She may not remember she said she was going to do it. I don't want to come up short in January next year where I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the Amazon Prime. So I'm going to just go ahead and start back with the sinking fund, probably the summer. It'll be a summer sinking fund that to make sure that is covered. No problem. Because again, she's doing it out of the kindness of her heart, but as people age, things come, things go, and I don't want no problems. Again, I never want her to think I'm using her card. And she was like, Shakima, if you ever need to use it, just use it. It's fine. No, ma'am, that is not how we roll over here because I have my own cards. Sister has her own card that's on my Amazon, and anything Jackson needs, either sister or myself will order it. Now, make sure that it's on my card, not hers, because I don't want to take advantage of people. She's like, well, if you ever need anything and you bought something, it would not be a problem. I am never going to be in that situation, not to the best of my ability to have to use somebody else's card. Now, her card is there for her purchases. I just purchased something for her 2-3 days ago, and she messaged me today that it had came in the mail. Fine. That's our relationship. It's fine. It works. PureFlix is $11. I think that's going to renew in May. So I need to make sure that I'm ready to renew. I've been thinking about doing Angel instead of PureFlix, but we like PureFlix. It's just a Christian version of Netflix, no problem. My gym will come out at $29. Jackson's will come out at $30. Jackson gets $50 in his high school sinking fund, and they're having a senior breakfast. I believe the senior breakfast is in May. So I signed up for coffee, sugar, cream. I think I signed up for the coffee stuffs. There's about 400 or so kids in the class. All of them will not go to the breakfast. Jackson doesn't want to go to the breakfast, but he's going to breakfast with those people. So I'm going to start saving up probably in some of that monies that dad sends to be able to just buy those things for him. He does have prom coming up in April. Prom's in April. He's not sure if he's going or not. So I need to start saving up for a tux. I need to start saving up if he's going to ride with friends or whatever they're going to do. He's going to take a date for food and all that. So I'll start saving up a little bit extra for him in that regard. Now, do I have to save for that? I do not. Jackson is one of the most responsible people when it comes to his funds. He don't write it all down like me and Alana do, but he won't allow me to pay for his stuff now that he has a job. He's like, Mom, I got it. No problem. There are certain things, of course, with the end of the year that I told him Dad and I would cover. And I'm saying Dad and I, because his dad sends child support, what other use is it except for the things he needs? So if he needs it, I'll buy it. No problem. So of course, that's the tux, that's the shoes, that's all that stuff. And then he's having senior pictures done. So they did have senior pictures, but they can be a little pricey. So there's a guy that we know, he'll do digital photos only. He does no prints. He doesn't do retouches or anything. He just gives you 3 outfit changes. He'll give you as many pictures as he can take in an hour, and it's $150. And then I can choose to print what I want. And dad and I will choose what the family gets and all of that. Because again, I'm just going to use child support money for that. We're just waiting for his cap and gown to come in because that's not come in yet. So he'll do cap and gown, and then he'll do 2 different outfits, and maybe sister and I'll jump in a picture or something. But this is really for him. And sister did her senior pictures. We wanted her to have that, and we'll do the same for Jackson. So, okay, where am I? So that was his high school sinking fund. I'm just going to put $50 in there right now, but anything additional I need to start moving over, I'll just go ahead and move. Netflix is $19.20. I just averaged it out to about $20. There is one that does free, and like I said, he doesn't even know if he wants to go. It's not close to our home, and we'll see if that's what he wants to do. If not, we'll just go buy something. I mean, rent something. I ain't buying anything. But there is one of the local schools, one of the schools does it for the whole county. So I know they do a lot of the girl clothes. I'm not real sure about the guy clothes, but we can always investigate. But to rent a tux shouldn't be terribly much. And if I need to, if the siblings need to chime in, they will. But Jackson's been getting some good hours, and he can, him or dad and I will figure it out. For groceries, I only took out $250. Again, that's about $62.50 per week for 4 weeks. Shakima, that's not enough money for groceries. Absolutely not. It is not. But Alana buys her own groceries. Oh, perfect. So we did get an email last week talking about it because I get like the senior emails, and so we'll look and see. Again, like I said, he doesn't even know if he wants to go. So $250 is not a ton for groceries. Sister buys her own groceries, and Jackson buys his own things he wants in addition to what I provide. I do all of the laundry soap, pods, trash bags, body washes. I do all those things included in groceries. But I'm also changing my diet. I'm no longer gonna buy any red meat, and I'm not gonna buy any pork. I'm gonna stick with turkey, chicken, or fish, because even though I'm working out every day or 5 days a week, let me not lie, I'm working out 5 days a week, I'm still not losing weight. I'm still gaining weight. I'm not doing any weight loss medications. It makes me sick. What they changed me to now makes me sick. It just makes me sick on my stomach. And so I just don't want to go through the sickness. And so because I'm not having any aids to help me, I'm just trying to do it on my own. I've got to figure it out. And what Alana and I think is got to be our nutrition. We go to the gym. I lift heavy. I don't do a lot of cardio, which I just got me an infinity hoop. So I'm going to start incorporating some cardio. I bought me an infinity hoop. I'm lifting heavy every day. Well, I'm lifting heavy 4 days a week. There's a rest day, but I'm going to do the treadmill, and we're actually getting gifted a treadmill. So on the days that I can't make it to the gym, I'm going to have a treadmill in the garage. So that's coming. The guy's going to come and do any maintenance on it that needs to be done. That's being paid for and gifted to us, and I'm thankful for that. My preps, I did do $50. So you're going to see this in another vlog. But I cooked for my boyfriend this for the very first time. I did a meal, and yes, I spent $50. But by the time I got all of the little pieces and parts and things, and it wasn't a difficult recipe, but I was nervous about it, and I wanted it to be nice and just right. So I probably spent way more than I needed, but we still have some ingredients we can use in other things. But that's what I use the preps for this month. I am actually going to start back doing full preps because I'm just not sure what this world is going to be like in the near future, because it's a lot happening out here in these streets. And I want to make sure that I'm taking care of, my family's taken care of. Again, we're going to hit that garden really heavy, which is why I'm getting Mr. Jerome to come and help us out. I'm going to be following Roots and Refuge, Justin Rhodes, the Yellow Door. Oh God, I can't remember. Yellow Door Urban Garden, I think is her name. Acre Homestead. There's another one. I can't. Oh, it's Meg and Ben. Holler Homestead. Sorry, Holler Homestead. And then there's another one. Oh, more than farmers. I'm following anybody that produces a lot of food because I need to know how to produce a lot of food. I have a small garden comparative. I could probably extend my garden out another 100, 2, 3, 400 feet and still not have a dent in my yard. But I don't want to be responsible for all of that food growth. And when I sell this house, not if, but when I sell this house, I don't want the new owners to have to come and worry about too big of a garden. So what I got now sustains us as long as I'm succession planting, and I think it will be okay. I think urban Yellow Door Gardener, she has a quarter of an acre, something like that, and she does backyard gardening. Hey, now, good to see everybody. And she's able to produce a lot of food. So I just want to produce what I can while I can because it's getting rough out here in these streets. Personal care, I did go get my nails done. Nails and toes, I go once a month. It was $90, and I also left a $10 tip. So that and some people would say, well, it's 18% or 23% tip. Let me tell you something. Nobody gets to manage what I tip. There are times when I tip the same amount as it costs. There are times when I tip way more. If her husband does my toes and she does my hands, I make sure I tip them both. When I don't have it like that, or I don't want to spend the extra, I had $100 bill. She said $90. I said, she's like, you want change? No, ma'am, keep it and move along. Right. So I do tip well, but not every time I do 18% or 25, whatever the case people say. So I didn't. My P.O. box is $17. I have not funded that yet, but my travel, vacation, entertainment, recreation is $400. That's going to be for the pastor's conference. Now, again, I did have when a lot of money hits me at one time, sometimes I get flustered and I got to sit down and let things settle before I can make sure I'm budgeting it all right. But another extra little bit came in it was a blessing to the ministry for the 40 days of love. So that money is going to be used for food and the Uber. This is going to take care of the room. Plus I used a few points. I had some points. I didn't have a ton. But as I keep using my card and as I keep staying, I'll earn more points. What are you talking about? Rough in these streets. Things are getting better. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Maybe at your house. Jackie, at your house, probably. Not at ours. And nobody else I know. Any YouTuber out here that's doing grocery hauls continue to say grocery prices are going up. Now, I'm not going to have a conversation with you about why they're going up or who made them go up. What I'm telling you is at our side of the street where I live, the grocery prices are not getting better. They are continuing to go up. Gas is going up. My paycheck is not. But that is another thing. God is always going to take care of Shakima. So maybe where you live, it's not. Where I live, it is. Okay, moving on. Jackson gets $100. He's putting money into. Jackson has a high yield money market account. He has a regular savings account, and he has a global cash account. Once he turns 18, that global cash account will turn over into a regular checking account. So he does have a card that he can swipe, but he doesn't have overdraft. He doesn't have anything like that. It's just what's in there. So he's learned how to manage that. And in his high yield money market account, we're just trying to save. He's trying to save up for a car because he will be going to college in the fall and he will have to get himself to college. So I'm saving a little. He's saving a little. And we're just going to see what happens at the end. If he gets any graduation gifts or whatever, that'll go towards the car. Just like sister, she paid cash for her vehicle. Jackson's looking every day for a car, one that he can buy outright. He didn't find the right one yet, but we're still looking. So I do put money there. For Gracie and Queenie, they get $150. That covers their food and their Semperca Trio. They both get something separate. Mama, I believe, has an appointment. It's either in March or May I think she has a rabies 3-year booster or something of that nature. And then Gwen goes in June. So the girls have stuff coming up. Fine. We'll take care of it. No problem. Moving on down, I did get gas. That was a cash. If you see something in green, that means it was a cash category. Gas was $200. You see here where it says my license, registration, car insurance. That's car insurance registration. That's $170. So whatever I'm not paying in that mortgage payment that I was paying before, I'm now going to shift that down to the insurance to make sure that the majority of that is covered in case I don't have enough coming in social spaces. Because I don't even think I made $43 on Facebook last month. And I was making thousands and thousands of dollars, y'all. Something happened with the algorithm. And what it seems like to me is you got to be sharing something crazy, something raunchy, something absolutely just ridiculous with words and all these other things just to get views. And I'm just not going to do that. And then on another social platform, you can make affiliate income, but you got to be selling. You got to be doing live videos and selling. I don't have time for that. I am not Amazon. Amazon is Amazon. I don't have time to be pushing your product, and I only make money if somebody buys something. That to me makes no sense. I want to get paid for my time. So I'm out here working hours and hours and hours and hours, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get a sale. If I don't get a sale, I don't make anything, and I'm only making a small percentage anyway. So I'm just not going to chase that dream. I know some people do it. God bless them. They're better at it than I am. I just don't have that gift or the time. Moving down to my tithe and offering. So far, I've done $740 in tithe. And then there are two ministries that I partner with. I'm looking to partner with a third. So I did $248 there. I put $50 in my business expense, and I do plan to save $500 this month because that tax money came in, that blessing for the ministry came in. That's going to help offset some expenses. So everything should be able to be paid. Now what I'm doing, since I've gone ahead and paid all the bills, I'm just going to make sure everything clears, and then I'll go in and see, is there anything else that I can go ahead and put now that I can do out of my income? And I like to do that if I'm able. All right. So there that is. That's the budget for the month thus far. Trying to see if there's anything else that I wanted to tell y'all. I can't remember. I will have to get an oil change, which if there's any extra money in there, because I have high miles on my vehicle, 170,000. It's a Toyota. I keep my maintenance done on it. I'm probably going to have some brake pads at some point. So I will average that in as well. There was something else I wanted to say, and I can't remember right off the top of my head. Lord, help me in Jesus' name. I think I covered all of the things. I was just excited that and I didn't have to wait long for my taxes. I think it came in like 3 or 4 days. It wasn't even a whole week, and that was it, direct deposited. But I will say this, typically I call, I go online to pay my state taxes. But this time, I don't know what changed in North Carolina. They just going to take my bank account information and pull the money out. So because I had that money sitting in my Capital One, I just put it back over to my main bank, and they're going to pull that money out for the payment of the state taxes, which was like $88. Last year, I had to pay like $400 and some. So again, I think it's because I'm decreasing the amount of social income that I'm getting. I don't need to decrease it. I need to increase it, because at some point I'm going to need a new car. At some point, I've got to figure out what the next 2.5 years are going to look like and beyond, because I can retire in 2.5 years, but I don't have enough saved. I know for sure. And I won't be able to even draw my retirement for another 10, 12 years when I can retire. Will I work? Probably, sure. Will I work in education? I'm not 100%, but I will need to have benefits because I still have to cover Jackson. If I don't cover Jackson, his dad has to pick him up. That's our agreement through child support. I've covered the kids all this time. It's never been a problem because I've had good insurance with my job. Sister actually can get her own insurance through her job, but right now she's on my insurance and she can stay there until she's 26 if I stay at my job. The kids and I had, this I'll tell y'all. If you haven't done this, you should. So the kid, and I may have them come on and we can all talk about it together. Shamika is here she is here for anything that includes her being online. So the kids and I on Saturday, we did a quarterly family budget meeting where everybody came except Jackson. Jackson was working, but she recorded it so that he could see. We talked about estate planning. We talked about um, life insurance. We talked about health insurance. We talked about who's beneficiarying who. We talked about who's on each other's banks in case something happens and somebody else needs to conduct business. Child, listen. Oh, they think they is, child, listen. They is snugged in for the night. I'm like, really? They snugged in. So we talked about me getting a safety deposit box through my bank. That way everybody prints off all of their paperwork. This is my life insurance. This is my house insurance. This is all of my passwords, blah, blah, blah. And I'll take those documents once I have them in hand, put them in the safety deposit box, anything else like that. Because Trandon's not married, Alana's not married, and Jackson is still underage. I'm not married. I'm dating, but I'm not married. And so my kids do all of those types of things. I have had my will. I've gone and done my will. I have to go back on the 12th to make sure I get all of my paperwork, get it notarized, pay for that. All those things are done. But if you have not sat down with your kids or whomever and had a quarterly meeting, we met last week, Saturday. No, we met last Saturday. We won't meet again until May, and we have another meeting scheduled. Everybody has action items about what they're doing. My son Trandon does not have life insurance. We're like, sir, get on it real quick, because we're not trying to pay for your, if for some reason you go before I do, we got to make sure everybody is taken care of. He is former military. He should be able to get, he said, half price burial, half price on any funeral expenses, but somebody still got to come up with the other half. So go ahead and get your stuff. And I am thinking about too, getting something for everybody. Jackson has insurance through the credit union. Sister has insurance through the credit union. Shamika and her husband, they have their own stuff. Shamika has she's good. She has that mind that just thinks about all of the things that I don't want to think about. And so if that's not you, if you're not the individual who can think of all the things, have somebody, or use your buddy Chat GPT. Okay, this is what should I be thinking about planning if I were to pass away. I have these many kids. This is what I own. What are the things I need to make sure are taken care of? And I promise you that thing will spit you out a list, and you just start checking it off as you can. It's taken me many, many years to get to the place where I wanted to estate plan. I still don't want to do it, but I don't want my kids coming down to the end of my life trying to figure it out. What I figured out, or what I've learned over the years, is families are torn up behind these money decisions. Families are torn up. They don't want this person to have something. Mama didn't say you can have it. This is what she want. No, mama gonna put her wishes in writing, and this is what I want done. Now, don't none of y'all mess it up. I've got my power of attorneys already determined. Even if you can't go and have that officially done, y'all need to sit down and talk about it. Let me just say this, and this is not generalization. I can tell you, in the African American community that I grew up in, nobody talked about any of this stuff, but everybody had insurance. It might not have been a lot, but everybody knew you was going to leave this earth at some point, and you better make sure, my grandma used to call it her bear leave. You better make sure your bear leave is paid up. That's it, because who's going to pay it? So if you know that's not a generational thing that you all have done, you be the person. My mother did not have, she didn't have much when she passed. All I could do was, get it up the best way I knew how. We ended up having to cremate her because that was much cheaper than burying her. That's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want my mother in somebody's urn sitting on Shamika's shelf at her, because I can't keep those. I couldn't do it. I can't keep that in my house. It's not for me. I wanted to be able to go somewhere and to visit her if I wanted to. Like, I didn't feel like she was, how do I really know she was existed if I don't have a place to go? But she didn't have the money. I could have taken out a loan from the bank. They would have approved it. But is it my responsibility to bury you? You're my parent. So again, all my kids are grown. They can make their own decisions. I'm doing what I can for the little ones who are still at home. Trandon is a full grown man. He's going to be 30. Shamika's going to be 36. Alana just turned 22, and Jackson's going to be 17. So we're starting to teach all of these concepts and things get your stuff together, make sure everything is well, because we never know. Again, my friend, my former coworker, her son just passed last week, and he was 40 years old. 40 years old with two little girls. She didn't have any more children. That was her one and only child. All I'm saying is you need to make some arrangements. Just start the conversations. Okay, I see Mutual of Omaha is the easiest when you need to use for burial. Also found out that the pre-need is cheaper than the in-need when it comes to burial plots. So again, do your research. If you don't know anywhere to look, just type it in Google, wherever, and I promise you something will pop up. It'll give you a starting place, and that's what we want to do. I know that's right, honey, and was not playing. That insurance man, he knew he was going to get his money, period. And my grandmother she had insurance on just about everybody. So we want to make sure, and I'm not saying that has to be you, but what I'm saying is it is a dereliction of our duties as the matriarchs, patriarchs, whomever in our families, to not make sure our kids are covered. You know what I'm saying? Like even with my dad has 7 children. And we're having a conversation about who's going to bury him and who's going to get something. He has a wife. I'm not trying to take out no insurance on him so I can leave myself something when he passed. That's his responsibility. But what I'm also not going to do is make it his responsibility to cover me. I'm covered. I'm covered. My kids are covered. If he wants to leave me something when he go, praise God. But I'm not going to wait for him to go to figure that part out. I'm going to make sure that me and my kid, I'm going to do him just like I do everybody else. If he go first, I'm going to make sure that I'm there. I'm helpful. I do what I can. But I'm not going to be spending the money to make sure he's covered so that when he passed, I can get something. Did he not think about me before? My kids are it's across the board. 25, 25, 25, 25. That's it. Everybody get the same stuff. All my stuff has everybody's name on it, except my one, my supplemental insurance just has Shamika, but Shamika know the deal. Don't play no games. Everybody is getting what it is. And also, if you're divorced, go back and check your stuff. I know I was in here several years ago and I kept getting my retirement papers. I was like, man, I ain't even looked at this thing in a long time. Child, that thing still had my ex-husband as beneficiary. We had been divorced for 10 years. What in the world, Shakima, was you? And I quick fast, and I couldn't change that thing too quick. I was shaking. Shamika was here. I was shaking so bad. I said, Lord Jesus, him and that new wife will not spend my money. No, they won't. You will not spend nothing that I work for. No, indeed not. So go back, check to make sure all of your affairs are in order. That is wisdom. That is good stewardship of your time, your effort. If I work 30 years of this job, this is a good stewardship over making sure that all my stuff is situated. That's all I'm saying. Again, Teresa said it's better to plan ahead. Started to use the power of attorney for my husband because of his health issues. I also went and made funeral arrangements because it is less money. If you do it ahead, hey, you might be able to get a discount. I know we work with a really good company, funeral home when my mom passed. I think they were very above board. I think they were very integral. My dad, now that he's retired from his 30-year job, he actually works at a funeral home. I've seen their operations. I think it's integral as far as I could tell. That's something I thought about after after I retired, would be to work in the funeral home business. Yes, make sure you have paid on death or beneficiaries for your bank account. Absolutely imperative, because if you pass and there's nobody else named on that account, that money will not be able to be dispersed. You have to have somebody's names on those. Your Roth IRA, I know that's something I got to go in and put my I think I designated, but I need to make sure that it's done, and sister needs to make sure that it's done, and Jackson has his Roth, and Trandon has his Roth. So everybody needs to make sure that those designees or beneficiary people are on there, so that when that, in case something happens, those monies are not just sitting frozen and then eventually revert to the bank. You might have a lot of money, who's to say? But do your due diligence to make sure that you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of. That's the whole point about what I'm saying. I got to make sure, Alana. It's getting jacked. I can't tell. And I'm not feeling the best. Okay. We didn't talk about it, but I'm on here. Family are going through this. My mother, I mean, I'm so sorry to hear about that. It's hard when when anybody passes away, but when you don't have anything in place, that right there is the area where I see there's so much tearing of the family, is when you don't have anything else in place. And so I just don't want that for y'all. I don't want it for me or my kids. Um, it's just not helpful. Let me see. Also looking at long-term care, nursing home care, it really helps. I know through our supplemental insurance, there are some things that we can purchase in case we need those types of things. I know I have cancer policy, I have accidental policy, I have medical bridge. All those things are put in place for my kids on the off chance that something were to happen. And those expenses that I just can't afford are put in place. If you love your family, look into it. And I'm not saying you don't love your family. If you don't, it took me a long time. And again, I'm still kicking. I don't want to do any like estate planning. But my days are numbered. I have a number. And when the number's up, that's what it is. And I don't want my kids to have to bear the burden of my lack of planning. That's good. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I don't want my children to have to bear the burden of my lack of planning. Now, as far as medical power of attorneys, Alana is my first line of defense. But Alana's your youngest daughter. Yes, she is. But Alana's here with me. She knows all my medications. She knows everything about, I have one medication. She knows everything about what is happening in this house. She knows my medical conditions. She is here, boots on the ground. Shamika would not be able to stand up. She would be on the ground. So we cannot, she's the oldest, but she is not the person for medical. No, she is last. Jackson is even before her. On the financials, Shamika is my executor, and she will take care of the money to make sure everybody gets what they need and it goes where it needs to go. She's not going to play those games and let people just be random. She's like, nope, mom didn't work for that. For you to be out here spending your money, you're going to go do this and you're going to go do that. And she's going to boss them all around till they do it anyway. So those types of things are important to just start the planning process. It's helpful, it's beneficial, and it doesn't cost you anything to start the planning. Now, when you start acquiring things, that's when the income comes in. Well, I can't afford it. So just look in your budget now to see, hey, okay, I need to get a life insurance policy on me. I was watching somebody the other day. They said they can get $100,000 policy for like $20. Okay, where can I get that extra 20? Now you start looking at that budget to see where you can shave. Where can I get that extra 20? Teresa said the long term is good to get in your 50s. The cost is less, and the older you get, the health conditions can make it so that you don't qualify for sure. Right? I know we were telling my son Trendon about the term life insurance, because when I was getting term life before, I was too fat. They asked me how much did I weigh, how tall I was, and my BMI was too big for me to get term life. The only way I could get insurance was whole life, because I was heavy and they would not insure me. So, prayerfully, those things don't exist where you have these medical questions, but they just might. Shop around, see what you can find. I know there's a thing that you can get on your home if you pass away. The house is paid for. It's paid off. I don't know all the details of that, but it's paid off. So those are different things that you just need to put into place, or at least start having the conversation. A spouse is home today, go off to work, they get into a terrible accident. Now they got a traumatic brain injury, or they don't come home. You got sheriff coming to your house saying, hey, are you married to Bob Jones? Yeah, that's me. Well, ma'am, we are sorry to inform you. Nobody wants sorry to inform you. And then I have another friend on here. Her name is Mo. Not my first Mo, but my other Mo. And she had, I don't know if I got this from her, she got this from me, but there's a notebook with all the passwords. Write this stuff down. Oh, we got to save on our computer. Your computer could crash. The interweb can go down. All that stuff. You better have it somewhere. And like I said, we're getting a safe deposit box. I'm going to be able to have everybody's everything to put in a safe deposit box. There'll be a key. Whoever needs to get it can get it. And we know all the things. You never know when technology is not going to be your friend. And so don't make that your, put all your eggs in that one basket. Sit down with other people who are smarter than you. The Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counsel. If you are not good in this area, find somebody who is. If you don't know how to manage, find somebody that does. And I'm not telling you have to pay for it, because there's so much free information. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't look up too much stuff. Just what do I need for right now, and do those types of things. If you have a spouse, if you have children, if you're single, somebody got to take care of the details. That's the one. Those are the things that are reasons why I've always wanted a spouse. I just never wanted my kids to have to worry about me and do all of the deciding. If I had a spouse, it becomes his job. But at this point, I don't have one. And so my kids know that. They're like, okay, mom, boom, this is what we're going to do. And Shamika's she's the leader. She gave everybody homework, on my nerve. But she did it. And so we have it. So anywho, there it is, y'all. Kind of a lengthy, but I wanted to share some of those things. I may ask the kids if they mind coming on, and maybe we'll do like a family quarterly meeting like we did, just to kind of show you guys the process, answer any questions that you might have, because they may be available to do that. Or maybe Shamika, I don't know if the other kids will feel inclined. But anywho, I'm going to hop off because I'm not feeling the best. Go ahead and like the video, share, subscribe, do all of the things, follow, whatever. Please make sure you're subscribed. I've been noticing that some people, I'm losing people, like 20 people a day. I don't know if YouTube's doing the whole clean out the thing, or if people are just unsubscribing. Maybe I'm not making them happy. Who's to say? Who's to say? But it is what it is. So anywho, thank y'all so much for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, do all of the things, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye now. Thank y'all. You do need to have everything written down. Technology or life can, for sure, especially just this last quick thing, especially if you're, you never know who's going to be dealing with a dementia, who's going to be dealing with an Alzheimer's, who's early onset dementia is a thing, y'all. That's a real thing, especially if you have autoimmune diseases and those types of things. You just want to make sure that somebody knows your wishes. And if you can get it in writing and notarized and blah, 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 do all of that while you still can make a decision for you. Because we don't want anybody else, especially people who don't like us, making decisions for us. And check if you're divorced, that your ex-husband is not still on your beneficiary, or your ex-wife, because that was almost about to be a problem. I'm not dying if they get my money. No, sir, and no, ma'am. We are not friends, not on that regard. Anywho, I gotta go. I just took some medication that didn't make me feel well. And so, you think medication is supposed to make you feel better. This did not do it. So I'm going to go lay down, but I'm going to be better tomorrow. All right. I am going to be doing some health update stuff. I'm doing cabbage soup for 7 days. Then I'm going total Mediterranean. I'm doing a 75 medium, but I'm starting tomorrow because I wasn't feeling good today. Starting tomorrow, my 75 medium. And I'm getting this weight off me by June 1st. That's 90 days. By June 1st. Oh, y'all going to see a different Shakima. I do not. My butt is, never mind. I'm not about to be out here on these streets. No, ma'am. Anywho, love you guys. I will check with you guys one day this week. Y'all are getting a vlog tomorrow. See y'all next time. Bye now. Bye, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me.